So it kind of started out as just like, oh, I'm just cutting back right now because I want to go train at the gym. But I didn't realize at the time, and looking back on it now, that it really was a change of priorities in my life, of realizing like, if I want to make jiu-jitsu something important in my life.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.
All right, guys, a special treat. We're here in Derby, Kansas with my friend Sarah Hughes. We're training at Laselva MMA and Fitness. We're going to have a little discussion with our good friend Sarah about some of her journey in jiu-jitsu and how it's helped her with some of the trials in her life.
Yeah, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I have one stripe, so that's pretty cool.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, I've been training a little over 3 years, pretty consistent, especially over the last 2 years. I started when I was in college at Benedictine College. I started as just kind of an intro jiu-jitsu class for PE credit. It was a trial run. They'd never done this before, but one of my philosophy professors in college, him and his family, they train jiu-jitsu, and he knows me pretty well, and he said, "Hey Sarah, I think you should try this out. I think you'd really enjoy jiu-jitsu. Plus it's only a 9-week course. You get a health credit for going to like learn how to choke people and do arm bars." So I took that 9-week class, and honestly, I fell in love with it. And after that 9-week class was up, I just started training like 4 or 5 days a week, and haven't looked back since, honestly.
Awesome. So I met Sarah when she came to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and she was training at our academy there. She was working as an intern, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I was interning at a church in Wyoming, and it was kind of a weird time because it was during the pandemic, but I had an opportunity to go up there and work with one of my really good friends from college. But then in my downtime, I knew I wanted to keep training jiu-jitsu, and so I found Cheyenne Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
We got to train together. I really enjoyed training with Sarah. She's a great training partner. But not only that, but she has an awesome story, which I thought would be fun to share with everybody out there. As we trained and talked, and I got to know Sarah a little better, she talked about how jiu-jitsu was really instrumental in her journey in becoming sober.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I started jiu-jitsu when I was in college, and I think as any good college student does, you party, you binge drink on the weekends, and you hang out with friends. And but towards the end of my senior year, I was kind of starting to slow back a little bit on partying. And then as a result of getting into this jiu-jitsu class and wanting to still train on the weekends and wanting to go to open mats on Saturdays, I knew that if I wanted to hit up an open mat Saturday morning, I couldn't be out super late partying on Friday night. As a choice of just making priorities, just changing priorities in my life, and I knew that I had to make better choices Friday night. Yeah. So I did that a couple times, and your friends kind of like give me crap a little bit about, oh, why are you drinking Gatorade, and why are you doing this? And I'm like, well, I'm going to the gym tomorrow. And so it kind of started out as just like, oh, I'm just cutting back right now because I want to go train at the gym. But I didn't realize at the time, and looking back on it now, that it really was a change of priorities in my life, of realizing like, if I want to make jiu-jitsu something important in my life, if I want to make this a better community of people around me, I had to truly make better choices for myself, not just in my body and my physical health, but in my mental health as well.
I really like what you said about how jiu-jitsu is a community, and in that community there's support and accountability. So not only do we have people around us every day that are encouraging us to do better, but also just jiu-jitsu holds you accountable. I mean, like you were talking about in your journey, if you're out drinking the night before, it's going to show up on the mat. You know, if your cardio is terrible, it shows up in your rolls. So really, the accountability there is really key. Mm-hmm. I really like that. Is there any specific people in that journey that you can think of that you don't have to give their names, that were really key in like bringing you to that next step and kind of pushing you to that next step of maybe being, drinking a little bit less and actually becoming sober, or training harder? Or are there some steps along that path that are key to you?
Yeah, I would say definitely the professor in college that got me interested in jiu-jitsu. And not only that professor, but my professor here, Marcel Laselva, amazing man, not only on the mats, but off the mats as well. And I think that is a testament to what jiu-jitsu is character on and off the mats. It's not about stepping on the mat and being a beast, although it's fun. I think it's more about character development off the mats too. And I mean, I could keep naming people, but I would say those couple of guys have been really good, positive people in my life as far as pushing me to be the best I can. And when it sucks, when you have a rough day on the mats, those are the people here on the mats that are gonna pat you on the back, give you a hug, and say like, "Hey, you're straight killing it, but like it sucks right now, but show up tomorrow."
Yeah. I think that's key for us is when we are in any journey in life, whether it's jiu-jitsu or getting sober or whatever, surrounding ourselves with people that not only can give us good advice, but people that have been there before us. And definitely in jiu-jitsu, a black belt, he started out as a white belt. We see them as a black belt, but he at one point had to like keep showing up and get that blue belt, and keep showing up, get that purple belt. So I think that's really key. What you're talking about is in jiu-jitsu, we're surrounded by people that have already been there and done that. And so when they encourage us, it's like, oh yeah, he's been there and he's done it, so I can do it. And I think it's really cool. I also like how you point out, sometimes I think for people outside of jiu-jitsu, we were talking about this a few minutes ago, our professors and some of these black belts and some of these guys that come up from Brazil, you look at them in the mall, you're like, I would not talk to that guy. He could kill me. But you get to know them, they're really cool people.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, they become lifelong friends. For me personally, I have friends all over the world because of jiu-jitsu. People in India, people in Dubai, I have people all over the United States. I have a person in Derby, Kansas that I know. And it's all because of that community that you're talking about. Awesome. So if there was any advice, kind of taking a different route, as a female training jiu-jitsu, what's that been like for you? Has it been more difficult, or do you say it's not different at all, or if you want to talk about that for a few minutes?
I think specifically for women in jiu-jitsu, it's hard to find a place where you're comfortable. I've trained at gyms before where it was very apparent as soon as I walked in, like, oh, this isn't a place I want to be. Whether it was somewhere I was dropping in to train or somewhere like, whatever it is. There's been a couple of times I've been in gyms where on one hand you're like, well, at least I'm training. Yeah. But on one hand you're like, but at what cost? If you're a woman training jiu-jitsu, number one, I think find a place where you're comfortable, where people have your back and they're not trying to just kill you for ego. Yeah. I mean, that's everywhere you go, male or female. But so I think number two is just find a good community of people that are gonna not only have your back, but make you feel comfortable and push you to be the best you can. Because I think we already have this stacked against us that we're a woman in a contact martial arts sport, and it's not as common. It is a male-dominated sport, but I think every woman that steps on the mat that feels comfortable, we can change those statistics and make it a more comfortable place for women. Yeah.